Welcome to the channel and welcome to an introduction of a 1990 Tuscany Taupe Metallic Legend L Coupe. I'm filming this car not for any reason really other than I can. This is on loan to me from my friend Tim, who's based in Tucson, and he a couple weeks ago picked up a Honda Ridgeline. Congratulations, Tim. And left his coupe with me for a little while until we figure out what's to come of it. This car may at some point be up for sale, and those who are interested can reach out and I'll send you a bunch of details on it. But it is a survivor. If I had to pick one word to describe this car, it would be a survivor. The reason that's my word of choice is because this car, at now 34 years old, survived about 19 years, its first 19 years in fact, in New York City. And anybody who's ever lived in that region probably knows it's not the easiest place to keep a car in mint condition. Now this Legend does have, as one would expect, some bumps and bruises from having spent that many years in the Northeast. My thought, if I had to summarize sort of the body condition of this car, is that it's a 15-footer. It's played a little bit of bumper cars. There's evidence of that city life pretty much everywhere you look. As a matter of fact, between 1994 and 1998, there were 3 reported accidents. So unfortunately, with as beautiful as this car looks from a distance, the closer you get, the more stories it has to tell. However, there is something kind of special about this car. It was an acquisition from Tim back in 2009, and one of the main reasons that he picked it up was because it's a low mileage example. So if you look here at the odometer today, 64,170 miles, which is virtually nothing for a 34-year-old Acura Legend. Just by way of background on the first generation Legend, this is in no way my first exposure to one. In fact, I've owned a couple. Most recently, I had a 1990 LS Coupe 5-speed Pearl White that was gorgeous. Sold it to a friend and collector in Colorado, and Brad still has that car. This one is a 1990 as well, however, has the automatic transmission and is an L model trim. So a few noteworthy things about this car. When the 1987 Legend Coupe rolled out, it was an immediate hit. That was 1 year after the Legend sedan. Motor Trend pronounced this car the import car of the year, and it was an excellent car that was praised for European inspired handling with Japanese level of quality and reliability, value of ownership. So it really was a package deal, and there are some great advertisements about this car that Acura put out back in those late 80s. Now obviously this was the final year for the first generation, because for 1991 the all-new, more rounded second gen would debut and last until 1995. And then, as we know it, the Legend here in the States was discontinued. Things are pretty simple in here. This is the year that for LS models there was wood grain trim. However, for lower models it was just a black bezel around the shift lever there. Also, no automatic climate control on this version, nor did it have the fancy trip computer that Acura became known for on some of its Legends of this era. This is kind of what the startup sequence looks and feels like. This car is really eager to spring to life every time you crank it. So this is what the trip computer looks like when the computer's not part of the system, it's just a clock basically. And then LS models like my 90 that I sold have a kind of plexiglass cover over here, and then a dial that you would set your desired temperature. One of the cool things about Legends for the first gen was this handy radio volume knob here, as well as there's your open and close moonroof. Super easy to understand gauge set. And then unique to the first gens also were these door panel pockets, dual power seats, and driver's seat had memory, which was pretty cool for its time. Auto down driver's side window, and gotta love that stereo equalizer. Power for these cars came from a 2.7 liter V6 rated at 160 horsepower. And of course, the two available transmissions were the 5-speed manual or the 4-speed automatic. I'll do a quick under hood glance, even though prep-wise I did virtually nothing to this car other than a quick wipe down. There's the favorite 2.7 liter V6. It's in need of a detail most likely, but runs and drives really well. I'm always amazed at how sprightly these first gens handle. They tend to have what I would describe as a little bit more nimble, agile feel to them compared to the G2s. That's about as much as I intended to film on this car. More of just a quick little fun overview. I'll check with Tim on his intentions for selling it and would encourage those who are interested to reach out. Again, with the caveat that, while it might look stunning in this video, this is a New York City car for a good chunk of its life, and the bumpers do tell that story. That being said, with the low mileage, I think with some preventive maintenance and a little bit of TLC, this could easily be a top performing Legend at the National Acura Legend meet, which, by the way, bids are now open for 2025 if you'd like to host that event in your city.